Welcome back to the show, Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Happy to be joined right now by the head coach of your Washington Capitals, Barry Trotz, is joining us, and he is here to spread the word about Best Buddies. That's the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social, physical, and economic isolation of the 200 million people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. He can tell us more about that. Welcome, Coach Trotz. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
So tell us more about Best Buddies. We know that you're intimately involved with helping improving the lives of all these people who need this sort of help. Tell us about Best Buddies, how you're involved with it.
Well, I got involved, obviously I have a special needs son, and when you're a parent of a special needs child, you always look for, what can you offer them as they grow older. And Best Buddies is an organization I got involved with in Tennessee, and it turned into a movement over the 15 years that I was there. What it does is hook a person with intellectual disabilities with someone who does not have any disabilities, and it is life-changing. The friendship, because any parent knows that everybody loves special needs child, and growing up they start having friends. As they get older, that circle of friends gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So they feel not included, what have you. So we're talking about a prom coming up here in May 20th in Virginia, and trying to promote that a little bit for anybody to get involved with it. You think about anybody that goes into high school. When you went to high school, I went to high school. We got into grade 9, 10. We're thinking about prom. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be this. Well, for a lot of those special needs people, grade 9 comes and they're thinking the same way. But then grade 12 comes. They're not included. They're not going. They don't feel worthy to go. And we did a prom in Nashville the first year that we did a prom. We had 300 buddy pairs show up, and it was absolutely fantastic. And it's pretty sad if you think you had 300 buddy pairs or people that didn't go to prom, and you start talking to them. Why didn't you go to prom? I wasn't asked. I didn't feel like you're worthy enough. Right. That's pretty sad. And Best Buddies is about inclusion. I think we talk so much in society now that we're United States, we're inclusive of everything, but we're not. And it's Best Buddies is an avenue to help those special needs people, but it's life changing for the people who do donate their time or have a friendship. I mean, an email to someone who of special needs once a day, or once a week, go to a movie, or just a phone call. It is life-changing, and parents who have special needs children know how important that is. And if you think about that, it's a lonely place sometimes. And Best Buddies is a phenomenal organization. You can go on to the web and find it in every state. It's worldwide. Anthony Shriver Kennedy started it right out of Georgetown, and it is a wonderful organization to be a part of, and anybody who has special needs children should check it out.
Sounds like an awesome program. Now, Coach, we have to talk to you about the Flyer Series first.
Absolutely.
And then we'll talk about the Pens. We were talking about it with our listeners on Monday, whether it was more a sense of relief or excitement to move on.
I don't know. I think we went into this series. This is the sort of the funny thing about the first round, is that it is the hardest round. It is a mental and a physical absolutely challenge. It changes on you 100 different ways. I was going into the series knowing how good the Flyers are, thinking 6, could go 7 games. Mm-hmm. How we got there, we got to 6 games. How we got there wasn't how I envisioned it. And
how did you envision it?
Well, you don't know how you envision it. You just think, the quality of opponent when you come into the playoffs, everything that you did in the regular season's wiped away. I mean, you look at the Flyers, were a team that got off to a real slow start. We didn't. We got off to a real good start. But you really look at what teams have done from January on. The difference was 3 points between us and them. And
you probably didn't think you were going to see Neubert in a series, or did you?
I think we wanted to. I mean, you want to get to the second goal.
Right.
I mean, if you do,
but he played like the first goal.
Yeah, you didn't know he'd be that good when you got to him. Unfortunately.
We knew he was good because he's been in the Caps organization.
Sure.
The one thing that he's got special talents. The problem with him has been keeping those special talents being consistent. And if you get him at the wrong time, he can be a special goalie, and he pretty well was in that series.
Coach Trotz, I don't have to tell you this. You saw it up close and personal. Lots of chippy play in the first round against the Flyers. More from their side, especially from Braden Shen. I thought he should have been suspended for that cross-check on Kuzi's knee, but what do I know? I'm just a fan sitting at home. Do you expect more of that sort of physical play from the Pens in round 2, or is that just the Flyers' hallmark? They're going to be agitators. They're going to be chippy. It's going to get physical with them.
I think it's a little bit more of their hallmark. I think the Penguins are built a little more on pure skill and speed. They're a lot smaller than the Flyers are, but they're a lot faster. I think they're deeper in terms of their offense. They've got dynamic. I mean, they got generational talents in Crosby and Malkin, Letang on the back end. I expect Fleury to be probably ready for our series. The Murray kid is going to be an exceptional goaltender. They're deep. They got guys, snipers like Phil Kessel and people like that. So I think this series is about star power. We're probably not as quick as them through the lineup, but we're bigger than them. So it's, who can sort of impose their game on the other team is probably going to be the difference. And then when it comes down to it, I mean, I look at the Flyers series and it changed quickly. It was all about special teams the first couple games, and then you think about how the Flyers would respond after Chimera's goal from 200 feet away when Mason missed it.
Right.
And then we played maybe as good as we could play in Game 5, and we lose on a play that goes off our skate and into the net. I mean, you talk about that's the tough thing about the first round, is it changes so much because of the physical, the mental investment that teams are, and then the desperation level that they're at. Because you go through training through the summer, you go through training camp, you get through 82 games, which is an absolute grind, and now it's up to getting to 4. And I really sort of I thought it was going to go 6 or 7 games, the Flyers, because you go into every series with that mindset because of the talent of both teams are so good, and how you get there doesn't matter. You get there, it shouldn't matter. But I know everybody's thought is that we're 3-0, you got to close them out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a stat that you guys don't know, and one of our coaches found out. The last 14 years, the Stanley Cup champion has not played less than 6 games in the first round.
Wow. So they don't just take care of it. That's why I said a sweep was no good. But here's a question for you.
I didn't realize that.
Here's a question. I wonder, though, deep in the back of your mind, or even the forefront of your mind, so we lose that debacle where we outshoot them, whatever it was.
44-11.
Right. And then yesterday, all of a sudden, we can't score. We're in a pickle. Now we're down 2 guys.
Well, we were up 2 guys before that.
I know. But then are you thinking at some point, you know what? We are just effing cursed. It's just not like. Do you ever let your mind go? Because I know with Caps fans, we're watching that going, we're doomed. We're doomed.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but as a coach,
the problem of the environment is
right.
that, no, I didn't. And
you were always confident the entire time. Not even for a second.
Well, a second. When the guy's standing behind you, you look at your goalie and you're cursed. Does it cross your mind once in a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really. You think, are we? No. It's that second. That's the second.
That's it.
Well,
no, we're not.
How did you feel when you're up 2 guys? You had 5-on-3. By the way, I haven't seen back-to-back 5-on-3s in a long time.
So wow.
End of the first
that's
period.
why I say the first round's so difficult, because that usually, if you don't score on a 5-on-3,
Right.
the other team usually gets momentum, and you look at the odds of winning games when that happens are pretty slim. Then the reverse happened to us, and we did it. We did it to them. We killed it off, and then we got the momentum from it. So, and that penalty that they gave us the double minor on, it was their stick. It wasn't ours.
Right.
We didn't have a yellow stick on the ice at that time, and so I always talk about hockey gods. Everybody thinks I'm a little crazy and all that, but who scored the winning goal? Nick Backstrom.
That's right.
I mean, I always think that if you do things the right way over and over again, there's a sense of karma that happens. And you guys have been doing this for a long time. You guys are legendary in this area, and I came from
I like that word.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
I came from Nashville, Tennessee, where I was with the Predators for a number of years. When I came here, one of the things I noticed in the sports environment, and maybe it's a little bit from the political environment in DC, is that it seems like the glass is always half empty.
A lot of cynicism.
Oh,
Yeah, there
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by that.
It's a terrible sports town. It's a terrible sports
No,
town.
I think it's a great sports town.
You do?
I think it's a great sports town because you got great athletes in it.
That's
You got
true.
You got generational
Terrible
athletes.
fans.
No, I'm not saying that.
I can say that. Great Caps fans, but terrible fans in
But
general.
I think I really want one team to win. If it's us or
Right.
the Nationals or the Wizards or the Redskins.
Right.
Because I will think that will help everybody's environment.
Well,
Right.
it's not going to be the
Because
Wizards.
I talk about, I listen to our players and I get guys, Kuzi, the young guys, and they go by and it goes, why they ask me about like Kelly Miller? He could be my dad. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to me, we always look back. You can't change the past, but you can change the future.
Right.
And so, I noticed that last year in the playoffs, we went to Game 7 with the Islanders. I mean, the Islanders won the first series last night since '93.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Caps have done a lot. We won a lot of series.
Right, but you
Now-
have to understand the fans immediately look at the playoffs against the Penguins, for example.
Yeah.
Matched up 8 times since, 1991?
Correct.
7 out of 8 times the Caps have gone home.
But I'm choosing to forget about all
right,
those.
So what
I'm
I'm
looking
saying,
forward.
that's a great stat from the past.
Right.
So if you were gambling, you would probably say, what?
The trends go towards Pittsburgh.
Well, the trends do, but at the same time,
Oh, you
you're
think the
due.
Caps are
do
due?
Do theory!
Do.
The do theory!
We talk
Rears!
about the do theory all
Yes!
the time. I wanted to ask you. I wanted to
You gotta
ask
make your own
Yes!
history. You have to make your own history. And to me, everybody keeps looking at the past. I think you should look at what's in front of us, what's the future. And I can't tell you how the series is going to go. We're going to try to put our best effort. But I think you have to look forward instead of looking back, because you're going to get nothing when you look back there. You're going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot of
Negativity.
Disappointment, failure, which I hate.
That's why we just got to, I think in our era, just look forward and embrace the teams, embrace the Nationals. We got a fantastic team. Embrace what the Redskins are doing. Embrace what the Capitals are doing. And the Wizards had a tough year in terms of injuries, and they've got some generational type players there too. So
Certainly.
Let's build a winning culture and think positive and let's go. We need your energy in the rink. We don't need your cynicism.
Real quick, we're joined by Coach Barry Trotz. Let's talk about this Penguin series. I know you don't want to talk about the past, but you did play this team 5 times, and you will look at film, and
Yeah,
you'll
we're
look
gonna
at
a
things
lot
that
of film.
happened.
That's why you got to get going.
And you will look at things that happened this year. I noticed Ovi didn't score. Didn't score against the Pens. Didn't have an assist. I don't think he had a point against the Pens this year. Why was that?
I'll have to look at it. I think Ovi, we'll look at every game. We'll look at every chance. We're going to pull up all the chances. I'm pretty sure Ovi's going to score. I'm pretty sure he's going to score.
Well, just
He's a
look at his-
generational player.
Yeah.
And look at his
And-
career playoff numbers. He
Yeah.
basically puts up a point for every game he
Yeah.
appears in.
And he had a
One
great
season.
series against
I mean,
the Flyers.
I saw Ovi play in Game 5, maybe one of the best games I've seen him play as a Capital. He got 0 points.
Mm.
But what he did in that game might have helped us win Game 6 because he wore everybody out on that team.
Mhm.
He was an absolute beast. So sometimes, you lay the groundwork, you pound the rock. Maybe you don't get the chip yet, but you get a little crack there, and that's what he does. You don't need much from Ovi. Ovi can do a lot of great things for us.
One last question before we let you go. Do you expect this series to be like an up and down, like more of a Western Conference NBA game, or is it going to be more of a defensive game like the Flyers gave you?
Well, I think it's probably you're going to see probably more scoring. There's both teams have a lot of offense on both sides, so I'm going to say the scoring is going to be up a little bit, but hopefully it's not too much.
I do have
'Cause
one more
I think that our calling card has been our defense
Yeah,
as
right.
much as it's been our offense. We've got a good balance, so we'll see.
I do have one more question. Are you going to get that Stanley?
Have you heard us? That's our catchphrase.
It's our catchphrase. 12
Get
more to
that
get that
Stanley.
Stanley.
Get that
12
Stanley.
more, coach.
Get that Stanley.
Get that Stanley.
Well, we'll try our best. That's all I can say. You know, we'll stay politically correct here.
That's Coach Barry Trotz from your Washington Capitals. Go to bestbuddies.org. Do whatever you can to help out. Best of luck to the Caps. Thanks for coming in, Coach.
Thanks, guys. You
Really
guys are
appreciate
awesome.
it. Thank you so much. Junkies on 106.7 The Fan.